Hi, this is Abul Hussain coming to you direct from London, the United Kingdom, and welcome to another episode of the 𝗠MMA Mastermind podcast, where we talk about how you can start or scale your digital marketing agency. Now, if you are watching this interview outside of our Facebook group, make sure to find the link above or below this video or go to 𝗠MMAmastermind.com, especially if you are in the agency space. Now, with that out of the way, I have a very special guest joining me because I think she's probably one of the first guests from the UK that I've actually had in a very, very long time. Probably the second guest actually from the UK in the 90 episodes or so that we have been recording since June. Her name is Hazel Woodward, and she is the founder of 𝗖𝗹𝗶𝗲 Digital Marketing. Now, I have brought her on because she's had an amazing journey where over the last couple of years, not years, months, over the last couple of months, she has quit her job, started her agency, and signed up 15 clients on month one. Hazel, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Thank you very much for joining me and for agreeing to share your secrets with our audience. Now, for the people who might not know who you are, how about a little bit of an introduction? How did you get into the digital marketing space?
Oh, it's quite a long story, but I'll give you the very shortened version. So I was originally a science teacher, and I left my science teaching job when I had my two children and opened my own tutoring business. And that there is really where I started to get really involved in the marketing side, because obviously I had to do it myself. I needed to grow my business, and that for me was where the journey began. I learned how to do landing pages and email subscriptions and all that kind of newsletters and things. And that was the seed. And then 4 years after running my own tutoring business, I decided to go into full-time, back into the corporate world, but in a marketing role, so doing purely marketing. And it was the best thing I ever did. There was me and one other person in the marketing department, and it really taught me all the different parts and different elements to set up a marketing strategy, nurturing a lead, all the various different things which you don't learn for yourself when you're just focusing on such a small space. And then I did that for 4 years, and I decided that's actually when the pandemic hit. I decided that I wanted to work from home because the children were in and out of school because of closures for COVID, and it was really unworkable having to commute to the office. And I really enjoyed working from home during lockdown. So it was at that point I decided, okay, let's give this another go and do it. And at the start of October, I handed my notice in, and the official start date for my own business was the 5th of November. And like you say, my first month I signed 15 clients, just without any advertising, without it.
You signed up 15 clients in month one. How did you go about doing this?
Yeah. Do you know, it's really weird because I'm quite a people person, and actually one of my clients said to me today, wow, you know everybody. And I said to him, it's my job to know everybody, because if I know somebody and I'm working for you, then you know somebody. So I literally just picked up the phone and reached out to my network. I said, this is my plan, this is what I want to do. Do you know anybody who's looking for any marketing, or just keep my name on file? And it's all of my customers have come from referrals from my existing network, which has been phenomenal, really.
No, that's absolutely amazing. So are you working in any particular niche, or are you servicing clients across various different industries?
Majority of my clients are in the dental industry, because that was my corporate background was when I went into corporate last time. So a lot of my network, I spent 3 years building up my network, and I was adding them on Facebook, and I was nurturing them, and I was making friends. I saw it as making friends rather than contacts. And I think that for me was the game changer, because it was a genuine personal relationship, and I see all of my clients as friends. They all know me, they all know my family. They can pick up the phone whenever they want. So yes, dental is my niche. I have some dental schools, so they're marketing to other dentists, again, which is quite closely related to the niche that I'm in. But I'm also really passionate about fitness and health, and I have an international fitness brand that I work with. helping raise the profile of their brand internationally, globally. So, and I also have a solicitor, so I don't really have a I will work with anybody. I'm quite a fast learner, but my contacts mainly are in the dental industry.
Oh right, okay, that's interesting. So you were working in the dental industry in your corporate job. I'm guessing you're not working for another agency and you've just poached the clients, but
No.
It's obviously kind of working in a complementary space, I suppose, to what you're doing now. But you built the connections, you added them on Facebook, and you had genuine relationships with people. So when the time came, you just had to call them up and just talk about what you're doing, and they referred you on to other dentists, or they signed up directly for your services, I take it.
That's exactly it. I mean, I had one, and I'm working with him now for both of his practices and his dental school that we're launching together. And I remember him saying to me, I've been dying to ask you if you would do my marketing, but I just thought it was a bit of a conflict of interest. I'm so happy. Where can I sign? And I was just like, okay, yes, please.
That's interesting, because when a lot of people start out their agency, and you might have seen this across our group that you're in, or in other Facebook groups, where people are talking about, I have no case studies, I have nothing to show, and I'm starting out in a niche, and how do I build my credibility? Did you have any of those issues whatsoever?
No, because the people who I reached out to, I'd already worked with or worked for my corporate business, well, employer. So we already had that relationship. So it's like I say, I think for me, cold calling and cold emailing is just not who I am. I'm not that kind of person. That just doesn't really sit with me. And when I get messages on like Instagram and Facebook to my clients' pages saying, oh, your socials is really good, we can do this and this, and I'm like, I know it's really good because it's me that's doing it. So I'm just like, no, thank you.
No, that's absolutely amazing. So what kind of services are you offering your clients? Because I know on the social media side, you have some people who just do the organic content, and then you have other people who are running an ads agency, and then you've got this hybrid approach. What's working for you right now?
We're definitely the hybrid approach. We realise that not all businesses are ready to invest in Facebook ads or Instagram ads. So we definitely have a hybrid. I do offer majority of my clients an ad spend on their behalf, just to help bump the organic reach and help things along. Everyone knows how hard it is to grow a business on Facebook these days without an ad spend. I mean, even if it's just £10 a week, it goes a long way if you target it correctly. But then I have some customers, like the solicitors, for example, that's predominantly advertising and ads with very little management. But I also don't just do social media. I do LinkedIn marketing, do outreach as well. We do reputation management, we do web maintenance, SEO.
So you've got 15 clients. How do you dedicate adequate time to each of them? Because that is quite a significant portfolio to manage on your own.
It's actually more than that now. It's about 23 at the moment.
Oh, sorry.
But I have a fantastic, I'd call her a teamie. Well, that's a bit MLM style, but she's more than a VA, because I trust her implicitly and I don't give her tasks. She's more, I would say, a key account manager. And I've introduced her to the clients who I've handed over to her as an account manager. And she's absolutely fantastic. She's phenomenal. We work really closely together, and she does all the technical side. So she will do all the SEO as well and any copywriting. And she's kind of like my sanity check. So if I'm like, I think I'm going to do this, what do you think? And she'll say, oh, I'm not sure. How about we do this approach? And it's, even though we're working remotely, she's only about 5 miles away down the road. So when things come back open again, I'm sure we'll be meeting up. But we have a weekly meeting and we WhatsApp all the time to each other. And she is like my right-hand woman. She's amazing.
No, that's absolutely awesome. So in terms of your day-to-day stuff, what do you primarily focus on now? Is it client acquisition? Is it trying to deliver the services? What does your normal day look like?
So usually in the morning, it's just day-to-day client work. So for whatever I've got for my clients that I've not handed over to Alice, my key account manager. So it's that kind of work. And then it's predominantly email marketing, reaching out, making sure that my clients' courses are promoted effectively and they're getting their leads and things like that. But really my main focus at the moment, I kind of feel like I've gone about everything backwards. So now it's filling my pipeline and making sure that I've got this continuous audience that I can market my services to. So I've created a Facebook group for UK business owners. I started my Facebook page after being in business for like 3 months. Usually that's the first thing that people do, and I feel like, oh, I've done it the wrong way around. So yeah, I've created my Facebook page, and it's all about getting content, providing value, and then now it's starting to build my list. So everything that you tell everybody to do, that's where I'm at now. But I've got 3 months of business behind me, if that makes sense.
And you've had a phenomenal 3 months. There's people who have been doing this for 3 years and they probably haven't signed a single client, and I don't exaggerate here, because people often kind of get overwhelmed with all of the information that they see online, or like in these courses or YouTube ads with these 16-year-old kids driving Lamborghinis, right?
Yeah.
Which is quite daunting for them. What has been your biggest challenge in growing your agency to 23 clients over the last 3 months?
Saying no. Believe it or not, saying no. I hate turning business away, so I will make time, even if it means I have to outsource it to somebody. I will never turn anybody away. I think your point about overwhelm is really interesting. That's something that I'm going through myself at the moment. I suffer quite a lot with imposter syndrome, so I'm not good at this. I'm not good enough. I feel sometimes that it's all just going to disappear, and it's as fast as I'm growing, I feel like it's just going to go. But I have to just try and push that to the back of my mind and just keep going. But definitely the trickiest thing is you spend all day on social media, and we all know that Facebook insights are ripe and people will target you. And I find myself sometimes thinking, oh, do I need to do that course? And then I scroll and I go, oh, but do I need to do that? And as an agency owner, you have to be like, no, you don't need to do that. I've grown my business to this point without doing anybody else's course. I know what I'm doing. Have a bit of confidence in yourself. So yeah, I can understand where some people get overwhelmed, and there's so much noise out there. You have to just be, resilient to it and shut it down, I think, sometimes.
Well, I mean, you've done a fantastic job. A lot of people who are watching this, we've got an international audience as well. They will not realize that the UK has had one of the more stricter lockdowns than the US, for example. And for you to build a business over the last 3 months to 23 clients is a remarkable achievement, to be totally I've got people in the UK, from the UK, in our group, and they're complaining about, oh, it's lockdown. Who do we prospect to? Who do we pitch to? Rather than being kind of resilient, as you say, and trying to kind of think ahead of, well, who is available in my network that I can initially reach out to and sign on, I suppose. Now, looking at your pitch process, what does it look like? I mean, because you're dealing with warmer contacts, do you have a structure to it? Or is it, let's have a chat and then I'll give you a price and then say yay or a nay?
I do have some cold interviews and things like that. So not everyone has come from my warm markets. I have like referrals. So if it's their 3rd or 4th referral, then obviously they're not in my network. So it's quite cold. I'm hoping that I kind of come across, this is me. There's no airs and graces. You're actually privileged that I'm wearing a dress and I have done my hair. Because usually I'm in gym clothes and my hair's tied up and I've got 2 kids and I'm homeschooling and it's like crazy. Find 5 minutes to get on a call with somebody. I have to tell the children, don't come in, mummy's working. So it's usually just a really informal chat, and it's on Zoom, so they can get a feel for me, I can get a feel for them. And usually at the end of the conversation, it's not a pitch, it's a conversation. It's okay, we'll try it. I said, fine. And I think my biggest selling point is I don't tie people into a contract. So it's month to month, but you pay up front. So I'm not going to work for a month and then invoice them at the end and they go, oh, I wasn't happy. It doesn't work like that. And I make a big deal out of that. If you try it, you don't like it, we're not a good fit after a month, 2 months, 3 months, or you want to take your business in a different direction or try something new, then that's fine. It's really relaxed and informal, and that's my style. That's who I am.
Right. No, that's a great tip. I suppose, people often forget that before people buy your service, they buy you as a person. And if you obviously can build that rapport and can connect with them on that level, then you can sell them whatever you want, which is how a lot of con men operate, right? Just based on human emotions, really. Not that I'm calling you that, but manipulation and psychology is something that I have studied for a very, very long time. Because obviously when you are in the marketing space and you're trying to figure out what kind of offers get people to buy or to click or to sign up for something, there is some psychology there. And if you can study it and reverse engineer it, then surely you can apply it to your business. Now, on the front of pricing, a lot of people have a lot of different pricing questions and they can't figure out whether they should charge thousands of dollars a month or $500 a month or pounds or euros or whatever currency they're using. How does your pricing model work?
I'm really transparent. So I generally just have one package, which most people go for. And it's 5 posts a week on Facebook and Instagram. I generally don't tend to offer Twitter because I'm not on the platform as a user. And I just think it's just not, for me, it's just not a nice space to be in. So if someone wanted that, then I would obviously outsource that. And again, for Pinterest, I don't do Pinterest. So I literally have narrowed down to Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. And it's just really transparent. You get 5 posts a week, so Monday to Friday at the optimum time, create all the graphics, do all the copywriting, all the hashtag research, and it's X pounds a month. If they want more than that, then at that point we can say, right, well, this is more, so it's X amount more. But my packages start at £399 a month, which I think is mid-range. It's not really cheap and it's not really expensive.
No, but it's affordable for most businesses that are doing okay, I suppose. And no, I'm very glad that you've been quite transparent with your pricing, because some people always feel like there is a need that, and this is one of the issues with all of these Facebook groups where you see people like charging a ton of cash for doing very little sometimes, it seems, and you're like, am I charging enough? But honestly, what really matters is the value you deliver for your clients, right? And being able to deliver some sort of a result or impact. That's the most important thing, more than the retainer that you're being paid, as long as it's fair, I suppose. When you're working with your clients, how are you doing your reporting? How are you managing expectations?
See, my clients are really easygoing, and I don't know if that's because I'm easygoing as well, though, but I don't have to do any kind of reporting to any of my clients. They all just seem to trust me implicitly. They see the follower count going up, and they see the fans going up, and the interaction on the page, and the messages that they're getting, or the leads that they're getting, and none of them like say, I want to report, because I think dentists who are predominantly my client, they're so busy and they've got so much compliance they've got to do for the medical. They just don't want to see another report. They just want to know it's working. And I think that is a really good thing for that niche. I suppose if I got a client that wanted a monthly report, then I would probably have to invest in some kind of software that would pull that together. But at the moment, I don't have to, so it's not something that I've ever offered or needed to do.
That's quite interesting. So when someone's done that month with you, right, because you said you don't have no contracts, is there a second conversation about month 2, or are they on like auto renew and they just pay up?
Yes, I mean, I had one customer who asked for a review call, and I was like, oh my god, have I done something wrong? Like, oh my, and this is the whole imposter syndrome, I think, rearing its head. And I was just like, yeah, that's fine. And I got on the call and he was like, so how do you think things have gone, Hazel? I'm like, yeah, I think that things have gone really well. I really do. And he's like, yeah, me too. I was like, oh my God, I've been panicking and stressing for no reason. And then he was just like, oh, can we do a bit more of this? And can we do more of this side, a bit more personable and less medical? And I was like, yeah, that's fine, no problem at all. But the biggest learning point for me with that was about communication. You can't just sign a customer and then expect them to not hear from you. So I'm not sure how anybody else manages their business, but I'm on my phone all the time. My husband goes crazy. But I give them all my personal mobile number and we set up a WhatsApp chat. So we communicate really regularly via WhatsApp with all of my customers. And those ones where Alice is the key account manager, it's a group chat between us. And I think open and honest communication is definitely key to retaining customers. It's got to be. But again, that comes back to my style. I'm open, honest, friendly, approachable. And that comes across in like the messages, and we do smiley faces and we send jokes, and it's like they're my friends. It's great.
Yeah, well, it's definitely come across here, so you don't need to convince me. Now, you've got 2 children, so I'm not going to keep you much longer. So final question for you, Hazel. For someone who's watching this, right, and they've been inspired by your story and they're looking to get started, what's the best tip that you can give them?
Reach out to your network. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Like, honestly, don't be afraid. I picked up the phone to every single person in my phone book, and there was a fair few who I didn't want to speak to. And it's the people who you don't want to speak to who actually will be more appreciative of you reaching out to them, and then they're more likely to help you in return. I don't think you can do it on Facebook. I think you have to actually pick up the phone. If you're asking for something, for a favor, you've got to pick up the phone and speak to them and just have that conversation, and you'd be pleasantly surprised.
Well, I suppose when someone's on the phone already, they can't ghost you, right?
Exactly. Exactly. But I think as well, you can't just be like a cold call. You can't just be like, oh, hi, not spoke to you. Can you send me some business? It's like, hi, how are you? How are things? What's up? And they go, oh yeah, how are you? Oh, well, do you know what? Funnily enough, I'm starting my own business. Oh, really? What in? And then that kind of is a conversation then, rather than a sales pitch.
Yeah, no, that makes perfect sense. And that's a great tip there. On that note, Hazel, thank you so much for your time.